And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Club Jaguar on a Victory Wednesday edition of the show. We haven't had many of these really in the past since we've started Club Jaguar, but new regime. We got Tony Vaselli, we have Liam Cohen, we have James Gladstone. We are a new era of Jaguars football, and we're going to start winning games and having more victory editions of this show. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and bring in my co-host. I'll bring in Jason from Jaguars United. What's up, Jason?
Not much, man. I am pumped, man. Like coming in here for a win. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, it's way better doing these shows after a win. That's for sure. And we also got to bring in Jordan DeLugo. What's up, Jordan?
What's up? What's up? Repping Tank Bigsby today. I'm sure we're going to be talking about Tank a little bit, right?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe the rest of the running backs a little bit.
I mean, I think, like the stream sponsor, of course, is Sleeper. I think they owe us some money because I put money on Tank Bigsby getting a touchdown, not realizing that he was on a trade block, right? Like, usually they refund your money if you pick an injured player, but we should get a little bit of money back, right? Just for picking a guy that was on the trade block without even knowing it.
So did they let you do that one? I can't remember what it was last week.
They did not. They refunded me back the money. Okay. So. Hey, we're testing things out over here. Okay,
hey, so you got to push the boundaries.
We do.
Right.
We got to get into the trenches and really let the people know how to do stuff and what's going on. So, without further ado, guys, the freaking Jaguars win 26-10. Never really in doubt. It never, even when the Jags were up like 7 at the rain delay. Like I was sitting there, I was like, man, we just feel like so much of the better team, and the Jaguars just felt like they were in control of it. They were up 20-3 at halftime before. I don't know. It felt like they were kind of sitting on the lead a little bit in the second half, but I got to go around and ask everybody. Jordan, how are you feeling after this W on Sunday?
I'm feeling great. Honestly, shout out to Tank once again, drinking a beer for you, celebrating the short career of Tank Bigsby in Jacksonville. But honestly, yes, there are things we can nitpick and things we will nitpick and things that we can say need to improve, but this is what you wanted to see the Jaguars do against a bad football team. Dominate. They dominated. They dropped 26. Should they have dropped 40? Yes. But if they needed to drop 40, I think they would have. I do think what you said was key. They were sitting on the ball in the second half a good bit. They were trying to run clock. They were trying to get that game over with because they could, right? There was no threat from the Panthers in that game. There never was. So I think you should feel happy about it and also realize there's a lot to improve on.
Absolutely. What about you, Jason?
I mean, the thing that I just loved to see was the defense flying around. I mean, you saw it in all aspects of the defense, from the secondary to the linebackers to the D-line to the aggressiveness of Campanile. It was just looked like a completely new defense. I mean, Eric Murray and Jordan Lewis just looked like the real deal. We had all these concerns about safeties, and we got to see it a little bit more. But after week 1, the safeties look like there might be one of the strong points of the team when you look at Murray and Dewey and just kind of how they played. And so the secondary, I was very impressed with the secondary. I love to see the aggressiveness from Campanile, just bringing blitzes, brought Jordan Lewis on a nickel blitz that hit Bryce Young for an incompletion. The defensive backs hitting the receivers as the ball is getting there, jarring the ball loose. The offense was, they did their thing. They did what they needed to do to win, but the defense really stepped up and had what I thought was like an A+ game. So that was my favorite part.
Yeah, there was a lot to like. And I think for myself, I went into this game and I felt like there was just a lot of pressure on the sense of like, if the Jaguars win this game, okay, we won, we can kind of move forward, we can have some hope in the season. But it felt like if the Jaguars lost this one, I would have lost so much hope.
Right.
Because I'm sitting here like, the Panthers aren't a great team. The Panthers, when you stack them up roster for roster, the Jaguars are better than the Panthers. And if we somehow go out here and lose on Sunday,
not great is a nice way to put it.
Yeah, they're awful. They're awful. But I think going into it, it's like, there were some people you could, Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, like what Bryce Young are you getting? Ted McMillan's a pretty good player. I'll give them that. But
I mean, they get paid to play on Sundays too. They practice the same amount of hours. You know, it's the NFL. You got to go out there and win every week.
Yeah.
We're talking about practice.
Talking about practice.
But man, if we had lost that to them, like it would have been bad. It would have been bad. So like right now, it's like I remember telling people like I'm either going to be on top of the world if we win or really, really low if we lose. So we won. And then now after this victory, you also kind of look ahead and, you know, the Bengals played a tight game. How good are the Texans this year? You know, they didn't score a touchdown this last weekend. The Chiefs struggled their opening game. So it's like you win and you kind of feel like maybe the Jaguars a little bit better than maybe. I don't know if they're any better than we maybe have thought, but it was nice going out there and putting this victory together. Then we're kind of looking forward to saying, hey, we might actually be able to win some of these next few games and, you know, come out of this first quarter of the season in a good position. So that is what was really cool to me. And I think one really good thing about this game was just the emergence of Travis Etienne. I think Doug Peterson had us all thinking that Travis Etienne was washed. We haven't seen this version of Travis Etienne in so long. 16 carries for 143 yards, 200 total yards on the ground, which, by the way, is more rushing yards than the Jaguars had in any game in 2024. It was spectacular. Jason, what are some of the things that you saw from the running game that you liked?
The thing that stands out to me the most was they weren't getting pushed back. They were actually getting a push, which I love to see. But like that play, the 70-yard run, everyone saw De'Ami Brown get down the field and spring a block for 20 more yards. If you go back and watch it, you know who else was getting down the field and was like the next closest player to Etienne? Ezra Cleveland. Ezra Cleveland had a block and then got down the field, outran, out-hustled everyone on the field, including the Jaguars players, and got down there and was the first one to hug Etienne after the run. I don't know where that was last year, but we did not see that Ezra Cleveland last year. So I don't know if it's the new coaching staff, but there seems to be like an electricity and an energy in this offensive line that I'm pretty excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, 0 sacks allowed by this offensive line as well. Jordan, what are some of the things that you liked?
Well, for one, Ezra Cleveland was good last year. The reason he was not 70 yards downfield blocking and dapping up Travis Etienne is because there were never any 70-yard runs, right? He's a good athlete. Like he was a really good athlete coming out of college. I like Ezra Cleveland. I like the mentality of the entire offensive line, the mentality Liam Cohen is trying to instill in this entire team. It showed up. And it's not just Liam Cohen. It's Anthony Campanile. It's Heath Farwell. It's the assistant coaches. It's from the top down, Tony Baselli, James Gladstone. Everybody wants to be tough. But every team in the league wants to be tough. It takes something different to get your players to do that. And also to identify players that you bring in that can bring that with them. And I think the players they brought in on the offensive line to be tough are tough. Robert Hainsey is tough. Patrick McCary is tough. The backups that are pushing are tough. You know, I think Austin Johnson, Colin Saunders, those are tough guys on the interior of the defensive line. Eric Murray's tough and smart and communicative. Jordan Lewis is tough. They brought in a culture, a mindset, and I still do question the talent in some spots. I don't question the toughness.
Yeah, I will say on that stat of no sacks allowed, Patrick McCarry did get beat pretty bad by Derek Brown on one play and held him, and that would have been a sack. So you got to take those stats with a grain of salt because if it wasn't for that hold, Lawrence would have been dead to rights.
For sure. Now, I think I would take 2nd and 20 over Trevor Lawrence getting rocked.
I agree. No, I agree. And listen, it's
so
Derek
if you got to
Brown.
do it, right?
And Derek Brown's going to get one. You know, he's going to get one or two. He's a good player, and you know he
made some great plays.
Yeah. So, but I just, you know, those you got to be careful of those stats because there's another player with what was it like 0 pressures on Trevor? I saw some pressures. I don't know who's tracking the pressures or whatever.
Yeah, he had an intentional grounding. That was
there was some pressures. So I mean,
yeah.
One thing I don't agree with is that Bryce Young had a higher PFF grade than him, but.
That's so funny.
I mean, are we talking about Trevor yet? Are we getting to Trevor? Or we
yeah, we can. I want to get to one more thing before Trevor.
Okay.
I did want to ask you guys.
We got some
Yeah,
folks donating some money to us here.
yeah, man. I see. I'm gonna get to them in a moment. I want to ask you guys, is Travis Etienne back? Like, I know last week, I think this whole offseason we're kind of discussing like Tank Bigsby, Etienne. I know last week, Jason and I both thought Tank Bigsby might end up with more carries at the end of the game, but now Tank Bigsby's out of here, 5th and 6th rounder, courtesy of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Etienne had a really big day, and it looked like a different Etienne. He looked like he had speed. He the cut move he made on a long 70-yarder, he looked really good. So, I mean, Jordan, do you think that Etienne is back, or you got to see it a little bit more?
He never left. I think he dealt with injury last year. I think he dealt with a poor coaching staff that lost confidence in him. And I cannot tell you how many times I have said this. The fact that Doug Peterson lost his confidence in this football team because of one fumble in week 1 is a referendum on his entire experience here. It was pathetic. Travis Etienne, who fumbled the ball, now going into 2025, we've had one game. In the last 2 seasons and 1 game, he has fumbled the ball once. And you lose confidence in him for that? It's pathetic. He never left.
I don't know if it's the fact that he fumbles for me as much as that, like, even with the trade for Tank Bigsby, I kind of mentioned this before last night. Etienne's got to show me he can stay healthy, because, you know, Etienne has a history of being injured, and it's not just 1 season. It's not just 2 seasons. We're on 3 seasons now where he's had a significant injury. And so they must really like Bashaw Tutin, because either they really like Bashaw Tutin or they're just trying to get rid of the Trent Baalke players. Because if you're really thinking, like, there's still no faith for me that Etienne can stay healthy. Like, when he's healthy, he's a great player. I think he's really good. He's running through tackles more than he has in the past, I think, and that's just anecdotal. I don't know, but I got to see him stay healthy, you know, and that's my big thing with him. Hopefully, if something does happen, Tutin and Allen can come in and just fill in for him.
I think their confidence level is extremely high in Bashal Tutin and LeQuint Allen. If they weren't confident in those guys, they would not have made this trade. Because even with Etienne playing well, you're right, it's 1 injury away, but they're confident in those guys. And they brought in a guy in Cody Schrader who showed some things with the Rams, and he's a tough cookie as well.
And now I think there's clear roles a little bit more. The roles are a little bit more clear now in the running back room, as opposed to having the 4 guys. I mean, of course, they brought in the guy from LA. We'll see if he has any impact or if he's even activated on game day.
I don't think he will be.
Probably not. But I mean, Travis Etienne, he's going to be the guy that gets the bulk of the carries. I think Bashal Tutin might get you some short yardage stuff or just a change of pace type of back. And then, I mean, LeQuint Allen, I was surprised that, like, literally, I mean, he's getting third down. He's getting third down plays on the very first drive. So they clearly like him. They like how he's able to pick up blitzes, you know, maybe catch some balls downfield eventually. So yeah, I mean, they like this rookie running back room. And you know, Jason did make one good point. I think it was on my live stream when I was talking about Tank Bigsby, is like, you know, we are a Travis Etienne injury away from having a very, very young running back room, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, but
doesn't scare me. So what are the things you worry about with young running backs?
I would probably worry about third down.
Not seeing the hole correctly, not running the play correctly, not holding on to the football, not catching the football, not being able to run a route against NFL coverage. The list goes on and on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you not worry about any of those things with Tank Bigsby?
With Tank Bigsby, I at least trust Tank Bigsby to put his foot in the dirt and hit the right hole, or hit a hole in general.
That might have been the only thing that Tank Bigsby was good at, is the only issue.
Yeah.
I mean, Tank Bigsby,
he can't catch, he can't pass runs.
I'm not bashing it. I'm
wearing the shirt. I'm a fan of his rushing ability. He doesn't do anything else.
Yeah, again, I'm okay with it, because I would rather Cohen have his guys. He's convinced me that with his guys, he's going to be better play caller anyways. Like, I'm fine with it. Just in my head, I'm thinking, like Dalton said, we're an Etienne pulled hammy from 2 rookies platooning in our backfield. So
I'm ready to see Bashal Tutin get as many touches as they'll give him.
Yeah, he's intriguing. That's for sure. Okay, we're gonna get some super chats real quick. Big Jackson to our donation says, "Show everyone the helmet." So I unveiled this yesterday. Big
didn't
Jags
see
fan
this.
gifted me this thing. Look at this.
Oh,
Let me put myself on the full camera.
What's the official title for it?
This one?
Oh, that's teal. I thought it was
Yeah,
white at first.
this is
Oh,
teal.
that's the
But look at this.
Oh,
It's
Trevor
autographed by
Lawrence
Trevor
signature?
Lawrence. Look at this. This thing just pops, bro.
nice.
The visor and the black face mask. It's got Jacks on there. I mean, this is easily the
Very
coolest
cool.
Jaguar thing I have right now in my life. So
I thought it was going to be the helmet they give you when you walk around, so in case you fall.
no, it's not that one.
Okay.
That one's in the bedroom.
Okay.
But
Oh, why is it in the bedroom? I don't know.
On to the next super chat, also from Big Jags fan. It says, question for Jordan. Since you're in the room sometimes, questions asked, what do you think about the players dogging the old coaches for having them do things they did not want to do? Like Josh Hines Allen, and I think Foye Oluokun is who he's talking about. And I think this is in reference. I'm pretty sure this is in reference to Oluokun saying that he was having to basically quarterback spy a bunch, and the same thing maybe with Josh Hines Allen, just kind of talking about the old regime. I guess, how do you feel about that?
To completely answer that question, I would need more specifics on what exactly we're referencing. What do you think about players dogging? I'm dogging the old coaches.
Did the players have any comments today about them being able to play in their positions, their true positions versus last year, anything like that?
Well, he called into the AFC South show yesterday, and he said that Foye Oluokun was basically said that his role was to essentially be a quarterback spy all the time, which was not really what he liked to do. And Josh Hines Allen said something similar.
Let's be real on what, if you're asking quarterback Foye Oluokun to quarterback spy, you are eliminating his ability to make an impact in any other way other than just making a play on the quarterback. If that's legitimately what he was being told to do consistently.
And he's also not a speed guy. Like, it's not like you're
he
going
is.
out
He's
there.
fast. For a linebacker, he's fast. So the issue with me is he is a playmaker. He is a playmaker. He's good at blitzing. He's good at tackling. He's good in coverage. You should be allowing him to flourish in all those different abilities and roles. And if you're just asking him to do this one specific thing that's very niche, you're not going to be getting the most out of his ability. And I mean, this guy, didn't he win AFC Defensive Player of the Week this week?
Did. He
led the team in tackles.
Turnovers. Yeah.
He got an interception off of a great play by Eric Murray, a dumb throw by Bryce Young.
Forced fumble.
And then he punched the ball.
That was actually a really good disguised cover one robber by Eric Murray.
Like, yeah, Eric Murray read that
was
the
actually
whole way.
Like very veteran savvy to trick Bryce Young.
I mean, Eric Murray was basically baiting him, man. Eric Murray had that read the whole time.
Baited him so hard.
There's so much to talk about with the veteran play of the defensive backs and the disguises of Anthony Campanile.
Yep.
Right. But yeah. I don't have any problem with Foye dogging the coaches or Josh Hines Allen dogging the coaches. The coaches were awful.
It was awful.
Yeah.
And yesterday showed. I mean, look, Jaguars had 8 turnovers all year last year. They had 3 on Sunday. Like, and that should only go up. It was everything was awful. I mean, you see the statistics, like it just, everybody got lazier, especially Doug Peterson when you saw his trend of like the way he called the offense from 2022 through 2024. It's like, I don't know what happened, but it just seemed like everybody gave up.
Good.
Yeah. I was going to say, shout out to the Garf. If Camp has Dewey and Murray looking like this, Ransom might be a total freak with his athleticism at the position next year. Yeah, I would imagine. Jason? I mean, going to add a lot of speed. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I've liked Caleb Ransall since we drafted him. Obviously, I like athletic guys. Probably gets, I mean, depending on what happens with the contracts next year, you could see him on the field a good amount, or you could see him on special teams mostly. I think either way, he'll contribute to the team. And give me speed and aggressiveness. He's a speed guy. He's a physical guy. I'll take that any day of the week on this roster.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll get to
Yeah, the
one by
only thing I
beat.
would say is he might not have the ability to play with the mental aptitude that Eric Murray and Andrew Wingard are playing with yet next year.
That's
He might
that's
not.
one
I
thing I
don't know.
worry about, especially because he didn't play at very high level competition in college. It's going to be a transition
And didn't
for him
play
for
safety.
sure. Yeah, yes, a new position from the American Athletic Conference up to the NFL. It's going to be a big step up. So, but I mean, he's in the room right now, at least listening to what they're saying. But obviously, he needs some play on the field. Shout out to B New. Says greatest show on the net. I believe he means greatest club on the net. I believe again, putting Jags through my pick'em pool. Let's go. All right, nothing like the Jaguars potentially hurting you on Sunday, but it's all good. It's all good. So I want to get into this next question because I know we kind of alluded to it earlier. Trevor's performance. Now, Trevor, it feels like he had a pretty good first half. Just kind of feel like he was just wheeling and dealing. I don't know what happened in the third quarter. I mean, there was one drive where it was just awful, overshooting a bunch of people, and obviously having the interception over to J.C. Horn intended for Travis Hunter, which was close to being a big one, but that doesn't count in the NFL. It's an INT. Jason, I know you wanted to talk about him. How would you grade Trevor Lawrence's performance?
I mean, it was okay. He had some throws into tight windows where I was like, all right, that's Trevor. And then he had some throws that were airmails, and I was like, all right, that's Trevor. And like, I'm kind of like, unfortunately, I'm still seeing this inconsistent Trevor Lawrence. And he did a good job of getting out of the pocket several times with 2 scrambles to pick up first downs. I thought were great. Looked like a lot of old Trevor. I'm just worried that his inconsistency is just following him. But like I've said before, if you either need a run game, a good defense, or Trevor to be on, if you get 2 of those 3 things, you're going to win the game. So they had a good run game and they had a good defense. So I think they were fine and they won comfortably. Trevor can be inconsistent if the running game's good and the defense is good. So I would like to see him be a little bit sharper with passing. Obviously, him and BTJ are still trying to figure out their chemistry and their rhythm. He obviously likes to target Travis Hunter. He obviously has good chemistry with De'Ami Brown, and he's always been good at throwing to the tight ends. So hopefully he continues to improve. He's going to see, I think, an improved defensive line this week with Trey Hendrickson. So we'll see how the O-line holds up against him and the pressure. But, I thought he was okay. I've seen him play better. I've seen him play worse. And that's kind of where Trevor's lived for the last few years.
Let's hear your thoughts, Jordan.
Yeah, so not going to sugarcoat it one bit. His connection with Brian Thomas Jr. was atrocious. It was. You have okay. So on the first throw, he sees one-on-one Brian Thomas Jr. versus Mike Jackson. He's like, "I'm giving my guy a shot." It wasn't a poorly placed ball. It was great coverage by Mike Jackson. Kudos. Second one, Liam Cohen says it was a little low. Was it in the perfect spot on a screen? No, but got to catch that if you're Brian Thomas Jr. Several of the next couple balls were not good. I thought the one where Brian Thomas Jr. didn't quite get his foot down in bounds was more on BTJ and more on just dumb luck. I mean, his second foot got tangled up with the DB. 9 times out of 10, he comes down with that as a catch. So I just thought there was some inconsistency from BT, more inconsistency from Trevor targeting BT, and a couple of unlucky moments as well. And then other than that, Trevor was actually pretty damn good. You did have the one interception, which you want to cut out, but god damn, that was a great play by J.C. Horn. It was. And other than that, I mean, you're looking at a really clean game. So really, to me, it comes down to getting the connection with BTJ. That's what it is. Getting that connection synced up is what needs to happen for this offense to hit its stride.
Yeah, and it's tough with Trevor Lawrence because right now, like, I feel like whether you're a big Trevor Lawrence fan or if you're a big Trevor Lawrence skeptic, I think we're all in the same category of like we want to see really good things out of Trevor Lawrence this year, and it's almost like we're going to scrutinize him in a lot of ways, right? I mean, we want him like if he has this game every single game and the Jaguars go 10-7, like it may leave a little bit to be desired because we need him to have some games where it's like 300 plus passing yards. He has 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This game where he's just dotting it all over the place. He's dominant.
Yeah.
I mean, this game, 19 for 31, like 100, I think 80 or 90 yards or something like that, a touchdown and interception. Just kind of pedestrian. I mean, it was good enough to get the win, so I'm not going to complain about it. And the Jaguars
was
were
money on third down.
He was money on third. And also, I give him credit because there were a lot of times where we got behind the sticks, like 1st and 20, and we had to kind of move the ball up, and he was able to do that. But the Brian Thomas Jr. thing is definitely a little bit shocking, and I think that is going to be a real area of focus this week, is trying to get that going. And I don't know how it's going to be there, whether they're going to try to maybe target him a little bit earlier and try to get that going, give him some easy crossers and stuff like that, get some screen passes going his way, just something where we get that going, because I think it'll get going at some point. I think it's not really an if. I think it's more of a win, but I think that's going to be an emphasis, that as well as cleaning up the penalties. The Jaguars had way too many penalties this game.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more games to watch. We got a W, so we can't complain too much. But I think we're all in this area of like where we're really trying to critique Trevor Lawrence, just because up until this point probably hasn't had as much success on the field as we would have liked. But there's plenty of time for him to prove himself, and I think this upcoming weekend there might be an opportunity against a bad defense as well as an offense on the other end that will probably be putting up some points, so that we might get into potentially a shootout against the Bengals.
Well, yeah. I think go for it, Jason.
I was just going to say, we saw, what did Joe Burrow put up? Like 115 yards passing? So,
yeah.
And I think most people would take Joe Burrow over Trevor Lawrence. Sometimes those games just happen. So I'll say that on one side of my mouth. On the other side, I will say I am going to hold Trevor to a little bit of a higher standard this year than I have in the past, because I think Liam Cohen's making it a lot easier on him. When's the last time you've seen Trevor Lawrence throw it to a receiver wide open? I can't remember. When's the last time you've seen a running back, whether it's BTJ or a running back, run into the end zone without getting touched? I think Liam Cohen's made it a lot simpler for Trevor Lawrence. When I was looking at the plays from the game, I love how Liam Cohen just splits the field in half. One side of the field is a 2 high beater. The other side of the field is a 1 high beater. Then he has a check down or a release somewhere. So Trevor basically he's made it, or Cohen's made it easy. Whatever the safeties roll into, you read half the field, you make the throw or you don't. If the throw is not there, you check it down. So I am holding Trevor to a little bit of a higher standard this year because of Liam Cohen than I have in the past.
100%. He has to play better this year than he has statistically, whatever you want to say. He has to, because he's in a better situation. Now, you do still have 13% drop rate this week, which you don't want to see that. You don't want to see Trevor missing the throws that he missed. You don't want to see the offensive line penalties. So there's things to clean up for sure on the offensive side of the ball, but Liam Cohen had those guys dialed. And again, the toughness, the response to adversity, both of those things were off the charts against a very bad team.
Yeah. And also the game flow is a little bit weird because Jaguars were up 20-3 at halftime and the running game was really working. So I wonder if the Panthers had a little bit more points and we were kind of forced to be in a situation where we were pressed to kind of score more, if the game would have been a little bit different. But the Jaguars are going to have plenty of opportunities this year because they're not playing the Panthers every single week. So we'll be continuing to monitor him. But yeah, like we've all been saying, there's no more excuses this year. Like, the offensive line is good enough. The offensive line played well. You should be able to have a rushing attack, which looks like the Jaguars have. And, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, even De'Ami Brown, Brenton Strange. We have a bunch of really good receiving weapons. So there's no more excuses for him. I pray that he stays healthy, of course, but there's no more excuses for him. He has to play elite level football, and he has to play elite level football when we absolutely need it. When we're down 24-27, we need a score, in the fourth quarter, or if we're going, throw for throw with some of the NFL elite quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence has to put himself up there and ascend there instead of, making dumb reads and dumb throws and ending the game on plays like that. So,
to be fair, he's done that a lot throughout his young career too.
He has, but we want to continue to see it, and hopefully he shows it this year. So, but with that said, I want to quickly give a shout out to. Oh, look at Jordan over there. I wasn't supposed to do that here. How about this? That was a smooth transition. I think I got to hit this.
Hello.
Okay, add the
How
stage.
y'all doing?
Okay, I'm all messed up over here.
Where am I?
How about this? There we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
And then now, if I go over here, there's a lot of stuff to do here. Okay, now we're gonna share screen. Watch this. I'm gonna pull up my phone here, so no one send me any weird text messages.
Uh-oh. Now's my chance.
Now's your chance. And
Where's my
phone
money?
disappeared. Oh, there we go. Here we are. Boom. This video is brought to you by Sleeper. Okay, this stream. Of course, every single week we're gonna make some sleeper picks. And shout out to everybody in the chop leagues. I saw Jason this morning. I mean, Jason pulled out a big W this weekend, and then went and spent some money on some player. What you got? Both Justin Jefferson and who else?
Not Justin Jefferson.
Oh, you didn't get Justin Jefferson?
Fields?
Maybe that was a different one.
I got who's the Chargers receiver?
Oh, Lad
Ian
McConkey.
Allen, Quentin
No.
Johnston.
Yes, Quentin Johnston. I got Quentin Johnston. I got someone else. I didn't think I was gonna. I thought people were gonna like outbid me for him, but
So Jordan, the way the league works is like you're playing against 16 teams.
I'm aware.
The team, yeah, the team. So all the players were out there. Like I know, like AJ
Mhm.
Brown was out there. I got two different leagues, so I get confused which one's which.
you get?
But
I got.
I didn't
Quentin,
get anybody.
I got Quentin Johnston and Tony Pollard.
There you go.
Okay.
Not bad. I should
And I
have got
spent
more.
the money. I mean, listen, my philosophy is, as teams get chopped, there's gonna be less teams, and there are gonna be less bids on these players. So I came out of the gate swinging. While there's a lot of teams left, get some of the best players available, and then I'll be there at the end because of these guys.
Jason
Yeah, I
spent
like
half his
that.
budget on Quentin Johnson. That's what you did.
Not half. I spent 20% of my budget on Quentin Johnson.
Hey,
Yeah. See, mine don't have a very good team, but I didn't get
20%
anybody, man.
now
I'm a
is
little
more
bit worried.
valuable than 20% later,
I got
I'm a little
Tony
bit-
Pollard.
right?
Tony Pollard's gonna. I mean, what are they gonna do in Tennessee? They got to run the ball. I mean,
Look, in this one, I'm in the chop zone. Sleeper's projecting me to lose this one, and then my other one,
What do
I
they
am
know?
projected 15th, the second closest to being chopped. So I'm not in a very good situation. I should have bid some more money, got myself
Hey.
up there, but I'm holding out. I'm going to save my budget, and maybe I get chopped with $1,000 in my pocket. We'll just have to see. But
can't take it with you.
nevertheless, we got some player picks this upcoming weekend. Look, we got different Jaguars and Bengals guys, but Sleeper's giving us a free one. Jaden Daniels over half a passing yard. So I'll go ahead and add that. I mean,
What?
why not? It's
I
a
don't
free
know,
one.
man. I don't know.
It's a free one. You think he's going to go less than that?
I don't know. That's close.
Okay.
Only
so
runs.
Can you guys see my screen? We can try to do this
Yes.
again this time around. Okay. So if anything interests you, Travis Etienne 55.5, Jamar Chase 84.5, Britton Strange 31.5.
Okay, I have some comments.
Okay, let's hear.
Britton Strange, only one catch after the first drive. Only one target after the first drive.
Jeez, is that right? Man, he killed
got-
it the first drive.
You got big dog Hunter Long out there. There's not enough receptions to go
Crazy
around.
is that?
There's-
Oh man. So I think ETN at 55.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm gonna go.
Sounds juicy.
I'm definitely going ETN. Yeah, and Britton
Right.
Strange 31.5.
Had the hot hand.
I also think Brian Thomas. I think they're gonna make an effort to get the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. I'm going
So-
68.5 is a lot.
Can you go receptions or do you have to go yards?
Let's see what they have here. I think if I click on, there's more. Oh, so there's all
Only
stats.
giving us yards, man.
So just giving us yards right now.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see if they introduce that later on. Just right now, it's a
68.5.
weird time to
I
put.
mean, it seems
put
like
stuff
he
down.
should get that.
Yeah, I would do that.
Now-
and
You know, it was a weird game for both teams in week one because the Jags were in a complete mismatch. The Bengals were in a dogfight, pun intended. So I think there's going to be more points.
Smash that one.
dude,
What
I
is
don't
it?
know.
That
It says
might
it
be
says
the
F,
prettiest
says
one
F-
right there.
it says
Cam
F.
Little, two
it
field
says-
goals.
It says FGN. Does that mean field goals made or field goals missed? Because this is too
Eh.
easy.
Field goals.
This is too easy.
Yeah, smash that one.
I mean, I gotta go.
Sorry, I
more
didn't
on
cut
that.
you off, Jordan.
No, that's perfect.
That's
You're right.
free. That's
You're
free.
right.
And these other ones, I mean, Chase Brown.
How many do we have to do?
I think that's all I need to do because I got Jane Daniels from the other team. So we can do these ones. Yeah, we got enough, I think. So these ones to make $47 on $5.
That's
We're
it.
gonna punch this in. Yeah, let's
I
get it.
mean, that's good.
All right. So we're doing that. And if you guys are interested, you guys can use promo code UCFJAG, get you 100% deposit match. If you guys are fans of Club Jaguar, this will help us out a lot if you guys can use that. And, you know, it's a sponsor of the show this year. So we obviously really appreciate them. So, yeah, definitely go check them out. So we can go back to this view, I think. And then we're gonna click this button. There we go. Look at it. I'm a smooth operator now. Okay, I'm still working out it's a new regime. It's only one game in. I'm still working out the kinks here. So, with that said, I do want to transition this over and talk about Travis Hunter. Obviously, a lot more offensive snaps than defensive snaps. It sounds like they're probably gonna potentially try to ramp it up, but it's still a question mark. Like nobody really knows, and I think that's supposed to be on purpose. I don't think they're sitting here and telling us that how many snaps they want to get Travis Hunter to get on each side of the ball. But Jason, this upcoming game, are you expecting more defense, or are you expecting, just everything to get ramped up, or how are you expecting his usage to be?
Well, I think probably Jordan, could probably speak to it after hearing what the front office said is they want to ramp up Travis Hunter's usage. So I think they've been pretty transparent and open. So that makes it seem like that they're going to ramp up his usage, and we probably will see him more on defense. I think a lot of people in the chat have already said, like, we're going up against a much better pair of receivers. So it might benefit us to get him on the field more. And it seems like they're taking this matchup by matchup is what it seems like. And this would be the matchup, I believe, to kind of get Hunter more snaps on defense. So I think you will see him play more. The question maybe is how much more. I could see him going 10 more snaps on defense. That'd be my guess. I'd love to hear what y'all think on how many more snaps.
Go for it, Dalton.
I mean, I saw an interesting thing where, maybe he actually gets more defensive snaps than offensive snaps this upcoming game, just because, like Jason said, the matchup, maybe he's more needed on the defensive side of the ball, just because Jamar Chase and T. Higgins might be, the best top two receivers on any team out there. That would intrigue me. I don't know if I see it happening just yet, since he's had so much work at receiver, and obviously he's still very much needed on the offense. But I would definitely expect a ramp up this upcoming game. But I do still think that he gets more snaps offensively than defensively. But I would like to potentially see if he does get more snaps defensively, because then we won't know what to expect week to week, and it'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think it's fair to not know what to expect week to week. That's what they intend. Honestly, it is. But something just still tells me, kind of like what Jason was saying, I do think he'll get more defensive reps than he got last week, but not a ton. I also think he could have gotten more if they felt like they needed it last week. I don't think they felt like they needed it in that game, late in the game. And so I think it'll be like a feeling out process to an extent, based on how the game's going. Like, do we need a play? Do we need a big play? Because if we got Travis out there, plus all the other guys who made big plays on defense the other day, he gives us a better chance to make a big play, right? So I think Jason said 10 more defensive snaps, so like that's 16. I think, yeah, that around 20, something like that probably makes sense. One thing I will say, Jamar Chase aligned in the slot, almost 30% of his routes last week. So, that's Jamar Chase versus Jordan Lewis or some sort of zone coverage. T. Higgins was in the slot 15% of the time. So it's not like you're consistently getting the Jamar Chase on the outside every time, the T. Higgins on the outside every time. And that's where Travis Hunter is aligning, is outside. So I guess my point there is it's not always going to be one of Jamar Chase or T. Higgins man-to-man versus Jarian Jones, which that is my concern. As much as I love Jarian, I don't think he performed very well when he was lined up against Tet last week.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. I mean, that's fascinating to me. I think we'll know a lot more after like 4 weeks what the actual plan is. And I wonder, one thing I noticed out there, I don't know if you guys are all concerned by it, but he looks very just slight to me. Like he should put on at least a little bit of weight. I don't know. For me out there, he just looks a little bit undersized at this moment, but maybe that's not any kind of issue.
The only argument I heard countering that, because I thought the same thing, was like someone brought up how slight Sauce Gardner was when he entered the league. Very similar, very slender frame, and like still obviously performed really well. So I think if there's one position you can get away with it is that defensive back. So that gave me a little bit of hope there.
It was they kind of have two on the same team. Like Garrett Wilson's probably pretty slight, and probably Sauce Gardner as well. So maybe those are some good examples there. I don't know. Just on the field, I was like, man, he looks really small right now. Like,
I agree.
So,
looks like
it needs to be functional, though, right? Yeah. You do not want to change the body composition to an extent to where he's not moving the same way.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way.
So
yeah, we know how that turns out.
Yeah.
So with this upcoming week, the Jaguars travel to Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Cleveland Browns last weekend in Cleveland. Always a tough game in the AFC North. Doesn't really matter how good or bad the teams are. It feels like there's always dogfights between AFC North teams. The Bengals, of course, didn't light up the scoreboard at all. I mean, they were Joe Burrow just slightly over 100 yards passing. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins didn't get a whole lot of yardage either. So this upcoming game, 1 o'clock. How are you guys feeling about this one? Are you guys a little more confident after seeing the Jaguars play and then seeing the Bengals play as well? Jason, we can start with you. Going into this game, I guess, what are the vibes in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, a completely 180 from how I felt preseason on this game. I mean, mainly, like I say all the time, week ones are weird, but after watching the way Cincinnati played against Cleveland and watching the way we played against Carolina, I have a lot more hope now than I did. I mean, additionally, when you look at if Joe Burrow doesn't have a good day passing, then you got to be like, okay, they must have ran the ball well, and they didn't run the ball well. And Chase Brown's a good back. So, I mean, I have a little bit of hope. I mean, this defense flies around, and because I would typically say, like, okay, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to get theirs, but they didn't get theirs last week. So there's a chance they don't, and there's a chance they do. But I have a lot more hope this week than when I was looking at this game preseason. So I would be pleasantly surprised if we won, and I think it'll be a good matchup.
Let's hear from you, Jordan.
I think it'll be a good matchup as well. And I expected that preseason before the season started, just because I didn't see anything really that I didn't expect from the Jaguars last week. The biggest surprise for me really was, and it wasn't like I doubted it. I didn't know. There was no proof of concept. It was Anthony Campanile's defense, and not just like the way the guys were playing, but the way he called it. A lot of times a quarterback, he can read, okay, we've got pressure coming over here. But when you completely overload one side to make it look like there's pressure coming from that side, and every defender drops from that side and you get pressure from the other side and things of that nature, that's when it makes it very difficult for quarterbacks to even figure out where they are hot, to figure out where they need to go with the ball. And Joe Burrow is a master at that, right? He's a really nuanced, high-level thinker, accurate quarterback, good mobility, good evasiveness in the pocket. He's going to be a really tough matchup. But if Anthony Campanile's defense can perform against Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense, as much as you want to say, like, yeah, the Bengals should have beat the Browns still have a great defense. They still have a lot of great pieces on the defensive side of the ball. So I think if they can go out there and show their mettle against the Bengals offense, that means a lot. And I have faith in Anthony Campanile to dial some things up that make it difficult for them.
Yeah. And I know I was looking at this game. I think, like I said, my approach this season, I was so laser focused on Carolina it was hard for me to look past Carolina until we actually played Carolina and I got to see ourselves. And I was pretty impressed with what I did see just on both sides of the ball. I didn't really expect Anthony Campanelli's defense just to be that. I mean, they were dominant. I really liked the blitz packages. They were a lot of fun. I feel like we were missing that last year, disguising a lot of coverages as well. I loved what I saw out of that. And I think this upcoming game, really the key is the Jaguars are going to have to get to Joe Burrow, right? And they have to be able to get home because the Jaguars had a lot of pressures, but only one sack. Like, you have to find a way to get down Joe Burrow because a lot of the third down conversions was because the Jaguars defensive line wasn't getting home, and then but Bryce Young was just able to run it for a first down. So they're going to have to get some pressure on Joe Burrow because if Joe Burrow has time back there, he's just going to be able to slice and dice us. I don't care how well Anthony Campanelli calls the game. So I think that was a huge one for us. And offensively, I think we just need to continue to play a balanced attack. And just win the line of scrimmage as well. It was really inspiring just to see what happened last week. But, we might come into a situation where Joe Burrow is just on fire and the Jaguars are going to need Trevor Lawrence to be able to duke it out with him. And can he do it? He absolutely can do it, but will he do it? I don't know. We'll just have to see. I will say for myself, I am drinking the Jaguars juice. I think the Jaguars are going to win this upcoming Sunday against the Bengals. I think they will. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. I think it's going to be something along the lines of like 19-17, to be honest. I think there's going to be a lot of field goals until the Jaguars can really light it up and not shoot themselves in the foot when it comes to like get a big first down and then on 1st and 10 you get a holding penalty. That it's killing a lot of our drives where we're having to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns, which can't happen. So I'm predicting a good amount of field goals, but I do think that the Jaguars are going to come up with a W on Sunday.
I was very surprised, and maybe I'm, love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Is for as much as we talked about, we don't want to see Travon Walker and Josh Hines Allen like zone blitzing, which basically means like dropping into coverage. They did that a lot. I mean, Campanelli had them doing that a lot, and I mean, you saw Walker and Allen dropping into coverage a ton. He had Ventrell Miller chasing a wheel. Like, these are things that in the past we would have been like, do not do this. And it was very successful. So I'm kind of drinking the Kool-Aid too. I mean, if he's able to get things out of players that we thought they couldn't do, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, to me, a lot of that was like, it wasn't disguised before. It wasn't confusing before, right? Anthony Campanelli, I think, is a high-level thinker on the defensive side of the ball. I think he really is. And the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, Liam Cohen ain't going to hire a defensive coordinator he thinks is not like close to genius level. I mean, Anthony Campanelli is great, and Liam Cohen is he's a offensive mastermind. He can think faster and more on his feet, I believe, than his opponents, generally speaking. And so I don't think he's going to just go hire some defensive coordinator willy-nilly that he doesn't think has some of that level to his game as well. So, that's exciting. But my question for you, Jason, is do you think the Bengals have a better defense than the Panthers?
Man, I haven't gotten into the film for the Bengals yet for week 1, and not that that would even speak to anything. But just kind of based on what they did against Cleveland, I gotta think that they definitely have a better pass rush. And I think that's what's always been the Achilles heel of the Jags is Trevor getting off kiltered, but that's every quarterback, right? So, I mean, I would say the pass rush is better. I think the secondary, I like JC Horn. So I don't know. And again, I haven't given the film for the Bengals a bunch yet, but based on like the pedigree the Bengals have versus the Panthers, my guess would be yes.
Okay.
So who do you guys think is winning on Sunday? We'll start with Jordan. We'll start with you.
Start with me, huh? Well, Trevor Lawrence, I don't believe has ever beaten Joe Burrow or the Bengals.
It's been the Bengals. The history against Trevor Lawrence versus the Bengals is pretty bad. I mean, the first one was the Urban Meyer sticking around in Cincinnati We all know what happened that night.
They were
And
right
then
there in that game too. I mean, they should have won that game. They
were.
should have won the next game.
And then the start of the downslide happened on Monday Night Football, which that was
Does this
not
break
happy
the
times.
curse?
That was not happy times. We need to break the curse against these big cats.
Yeah, they do. I'll take the Jags. I think they knew that they weren't up against a very advanced like coaching staff last week. Again, no offense to the Canales and Evero and those guys, but they don't have it. They don't have the personnel. They don't have the coaching chops, in my opinion, to compete with Liam Cohen and Anthony Campanile. Does Press Taylor, not Press Taylor, right?
Press Taylor? Oh, God.
I just had goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
I had visions.
Yeah.
I had flashbacks.
Does Zach Taylor and Al Golden have what it takes? I'm going Jags.
Let's go.
I'm going Jags. I don't think the Bengals should have hired Lou Anarumo. I think you saw that with what the Colts did to the freaking Dolphins last week. And Zach Taylor has found ways to adapt in a positive manner throughout his career, but they've never won in week 2. I don't think they're going to break that streak this week.
Let's go. And isn't it nice that we can actually really feel like we have a coaching staff that's better than another coaching staff? And you saw it firsthand. Danny Canales was the Buccaneers offensive coordinator in 2023. Then they hired him away for the Panthers. And then here's in year 2. And when you look at that game, you would have thought that Danny Canales was the guy who's coaching his first NFL game. I mean, the Jaguars just dominated them when it comes to the coaching part of the game. But we'll move on to you, Jason. We're all on the edge of our seats. I need to know.
You know me, I'm the resident gambler. 3-point dogs on the road. Those are trap bets. I mean, anytime you see 3-point dogs on the road, they typically give you 3 points for being at home. So that makes me think that Vegas thinks this is a pretty even game. Now, Vegas isn't the end-all, be-all, but I kind of view it week 2 as a pretty even game. I could see whoever, I don't want to call it lucky, gets the lucky bounces. Maybe whoever doesn't commit dumb turnovers and dumb penalties wins the game. I hope that's the Jags. I'm going to pick the Jags. I'm going to bet the Jags, and I think they will win. But there is something to going on the road, and there is something to the Jags being a team who definitely commit dumb penalties and at times commit dumb turnovers. And I think that's going to be the big difference in this game. So I hope it's the Jags that don't do that. I'm taking the Jags, but I think these teams are both pretty evenly matched.
Let's go. We got a clean sweep over here. And dream scenario here is the Jaguars can somehow go 2-0, which, by the way, around the AFC South, the Colts are, of course, 1-0 after demolishing the Miami Dolphins. Titans are 0-1, and the Texans are 0-1. And the Texans have a tough matchup this upcoming week. They are hosting the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. That is a tough one. So there's a very real situation. Obviously, don't count your eggs before they hatch, but the Jaguars win this one. The Texans could be coming in town 0-2 next week, and man, that would be something nobody really expected to happen like that.
I don't know if I want to see an 0-2 Texans.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
I want to ask you guys this: would you rather be facing the Bengals if they had lost last week or won?
One.
Yeah,
I think so too.
For sure.
I think so too.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. I was thinking about that this week. You just would rather be playing a team that's feeling a little good.
Yeah. And I almost wonder, what's their perception of the Jaguars, right? Probably not very good right now.
I was just thinking the money that's going to come in for Cincy covering 3 against the Jaguars is going to be insane. If you are a gambler, do not bet that game until Sunday because that line is going to move to 3.5, 4, 4.5. Because all of America is going to see Bengals only 3 points favorites against the Jags, and they are going to just smash that bet. That line's going to move because the national media does not know what's going on. They're going to see Bengals versus Jags. But I will say, I was on record here saying, watch out for the Colts. I said the Colts are going to be better than people think. I think they weren't far away. And if they get a guy who just doesn't turn the ball over at quarterback, they may be a team that is kind of scary.
I'm still not a believer. Dolphins are so bad.
Well, I know that I picked the Colts in that game. I know Jason. Did we all pick the Colts?
I picked the Colts.
Game?
I actually went 4-0 on my AFC South picks last week.
Okay. So I picked the Texans, I think, because I wanted to be wrong on that one. Right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was, yeah.
Everybody picked the Broncos. So, yeah. Overall, good week in the AFC South.
But this is what's nice about playing a third place schedule. The Texans get the Buccaneers while the Jaguars got the Panthers. So that's one way you gotta when you're down, you just gotta tank so you can get your Travis Hunter and get your last place schedule.
I love it.
And the Titans get the Saints, is that right?
Yeah, the Titans. Let's see who the Titans have the Rams at home. Oof.
Sorry, I mean when they play the NFC South. Or
yeah.
Oh yeah. That's true. Sorry, but yeah, that's a crazy one though. Like the Texans scored 0 touchdowns, and neither did the Titans. That's man. We'll see what happens with the Texans, but I mean, outside of C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins, that offense just doesn't have a lot of firepower, and he looks flustered out there. He's getting hit. They didn't make the investments in the offensive line that like everybody said they should, and they didn't. And you know, you're kind of seeing maybe Nick Caserio has a little bit of ego to him because he thought they were all good, and it might be biting him in the ass a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't run the ball, good luck. Because that offensive line ain't protecting and pass protection all game.
Yeah. And they're trying to find their second receiver, but you know, of course, Christian Kirk is hurt right now with a hammy. You know, they drafted some rookies as well. I don't know where Tank Dell is. I don't know if he's just I don't know.
He had a crazy injury, man. So
yeah,
it's gonna be.
He played a little bit. Oh no, yeah, he did have an injury last year. I forgot about that.
Crazy injury.
Yeah, he had something nasty.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was bad. I forgot about that. So, well, yeah, they don't have a real second weapon. Their tight ends are kind of mid. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I know they were supposed to be the team that takes the next step, right? But if you watch the Bills and Ravens on Sunday Night Football, they're nowhere near that stratosphere right now. They got to try to duke it out with the AFC South.
That's fair. Did they say? Is he saying Tank Dell retired? Big Jags fan. I was unaware of that. If that's the case, but I am not convinced that game between the Bills and Texans tells me anything I didn't know about those teams, which is that they're 2 of the top 3 teams in the AFC. I mean, I don't think that either defense. I still think both of those teams are gettable in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you're a good team. Like, I mean, you have to be a damn good team to beat either of them. Like, they both got insane quarterbacks and good talent and coaching throughout and different things. But I don't think either of them has really taken a step forward.
Interesting. Okay, so we got a $5 one from the Garf here. She says, rewatching the 22, I feel like Anton had maybe his best game of his career on Sunday. Was great in press pro and seemed more consistent in the run game. Do you guys concur with that one?
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of his most complete games because, like, as the Garf has stated, he was good in both phases, which he hasn't been good in both phases in a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, you heard Cohen. I mean, Cohen has not been easy on him, and he even gave him high remarks after the game. So,
I mean, that's the thing. It hasn't ever been about ability, right? It's more about, you know, is he dedicated enough?
Probably
does he work hard enough?
Yeah,
effort.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of these, especially the big guys, like these big guys, you know, sometimes they put on weight. Is it good weight? Is it bad weight? You know, they got to be able to move around, have quick feet at that, you know, high weight. It's difficult. Obviously, you see me, you know, I'm a I'm an athletic specimen at my weight, but you know, I can't.
Hey, you're at your playing weight, Dalton. You're at your
Yeah.
playing weight.
Oh, I'm at my playing weight. I'm at my.
Yeah.
I'm on my. I'm ready to come back to the league at 31 years old. I'm just waiting for the call. I'm ready for my Tim Tebow moment. But was sweet, man. This is a fun show. Appreciate everyone for being here, man. It's fun doing this show after a victory. I hope we can come back here next week and be 2-0, and then we'll really be partying if we're 2-0. I'll tell you that much right now. I want to go around
2-0 with a matchup against the Texans.
Oh man,
and Duval.
Ooh, now we're talking.
That'd be a spicy one. Jaguars haven't beat Texans and Duval since 2017. We could have a shot here in the next week. We'll just have to see. I want to go around the table, ask you guys what you got coming up. I know Jason did a really good film breakdown last night. I believe it was a two-parter because the YouTube gods had other plans. Tell us about it, Jason.
Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. You know, I should have been better about breaking up the clips and then me talking, which any pro knows. But I got so carried away with the film, I just was rolling them back to back to back, and I got put in YouTube jail for a second. But it's okay. We got almost an hour in. It was good. So go back and watch the film breakdown. I'm going to try to come on Friday night. I got to work until like kind of late, so it might be a late night show. But for you night owls like myself, I'll be on Friday night. And Tuesday, Fridays, we'll try to keep that schedule.
Nice. What you got coming up, Jordan?
Well, we will definitely have the full game preview tomorrow. Matchups to watch, bold predictions, what else coming, I don't know, but we will definitely have lots of content for you over at Gen Jag over the next several days.
Yeah, Jason Jordan's always got fresh content coming out. It's pretty awesome. By the way, I have both these guys' channels linked down in the description box. Definitely go over there, check them out. You know, there's a lot of content between the three of us that we all come out with independently. It's a lot of fun. I know for myself, I'll be back live for the Sunday game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I was live the whole entire hour and a half time where we were on weather delay. My dad was telling a bunch of dad jokes. Didn't really understand a lot of them, but it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. So hope you guys can all be there. And look, enjoy the rest of your week. I know Jaguars just came out with Sounds of the Game. I forgot about Sounds of the Game. I feel like I haven't watched it in about 2 years, but it's a great production, that's for sure. It's the best thing to watch after a win and the worst thing to watch after a loss, is what I always say. So
yeah, I checked it out. It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
But all right, guys, we'll catch you guys later. Drop a like on your way out. Also, shout out to Sleeper for powering the stream. Catch you guys later. Go Jags.
Go Jags.